Okay. Now today's case study is another challenge for my creativity. And unfortunately the outcome came out of the whole process. I was happy, but client could not digest. Okay. They were not having enough backing to develop that, and I am sure what I am talking about today would have resulted at least 10, 12 international patents. That much material was created during this case study. But I work at a creative part, then it is to be engineered and so many things which company could not digest and could not take it further. Okay, I am going to show one part they redesigned and they could save the cost enormously. Okay. But so many aspects, I said you can reduce this, you can reduce, and I was redesigning German machine. Challenge was, okay. So, Stenter A.T.E industry is licensed to sell the German machines in India, they import and sell, or they are also licensed to manufacture and sell this Stenter machine. Stenter machine is nothing but a huge oven which is used in textile industry. Okay, and this comes almost at the end of the processing, textile processing, because textile is weaving and so many stages are there. This is where your cloth is going to get finishing touch, okay, or that crispiness, the fine finish. They have the formulas and recipes to give a finish to your cloth, okay. And this whole concept is a very modular thing. So, it may be 2 modules or it may be how many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 means 36 meter plus long, 36 meters. Each module is 3 meter. Okay, the width wise it is about 3.5 or 3.5 meter. It is a oven. Okay, how it works? And I can stretch cloth, or I can reduce stretching, and that is how the stretching, maybe initially it is less, it can be increased or it can be different. No? That is important for your cloth, and finally the feel which you get, okay, is because of this center. Now, the chain is one of the most important part of this. Now, chain is, there are combi links, and of course, this is how it works, the cross section wise. There is a oil fired heating element. So, there is a heater and nozzles are there. So, from top and bottom you are giving hot air, and cloth which is passed through is wet with the formulation and all that. So, like we do ironing, this is not really pressing through, but it comes crisp and without any wrinkle, and some cloths are given shining. Okay, the cotton silk actually cotton gets that shiny silk finish. So, it is treated by the recipe, and when it is passed through the center it will become silk looking, okay, the look will be silk. So, it is a very interesting, quite a complex machinery. Yesterday I was talking about that blowing plant, blown film, similar. The whole machine, once they get the order and some advance, they start designing and executing the order. So, in company they will make the whole center work and quite complex. Believe me, it has quite a good complexity, mechanical complexity. Okay? Because I am stretching the cloth, holding it at the edge. Okay? And the stretch is quite predominant and the temperature is pretty high inside. Make the machine more customer friendly in terms of operation and maintenance. Reduce cost substantially. That was the brief which is coming. Okay? Reduce erection time to make machine more energy efficient. Improve price performance ratio. Technologically ahead of competitors. And I accepted this challenge. I said, of course, you have to develop this, test it. It is your responsibility. I am not going to engineer it out, but I will give you the concept, totally innovative concept and the suggestions. You have to take the responsibility of testing and engineering it out, taking patents, and I gave them the guarantee, oral guarantee. You can compete your German original people in Germany with the price advantage. My rough projection was I will reduce the energy consumption by 30 or 40%. The material content again another 30-40%. And I have delivered this, right, that sealing machine Sigma 3 from 120 to 80 kilo, the substantial weight reduction. Here also I was projecting the same. There are many patents by a German company. So, I was also supposed to come out with such a radically innovative concept, new patents. Okay? Logistic and MTBF also is to be improved. Now, I said there are two approaches. Between failure, yeah. So, existing principle of heating and retain the same other areas such as drive mechanism, insulation and other one is totally radical arrangement for heating, nozzle and I said why 36 meter? 36 meter is a pretty huge space, no? Okay? And why it is not the whole thing is vertical, the cloth is moving like this. Okay? So, those were radical concepts and they liked many of them. Every thought was appreciated, but then they backed out. They said this is not our cup of tea, sir. Okay? Only one product was taken, the heat exchanger. They could perfect as per my suggestion. Okay? There are many parts, okay, one by one. Chain is playing very important role in transporting cloth through hot oven and enable stretching of the cloth. How it is working? Now, chain is something, it's typically like your cycle chain, okay, and it has completely sealed bearing. Each bearing is costing more than 3,500 rupees, imported, okay, because if grease leaks and it is high temperature about, if I recollect right, 110 or 15 degrees, okay, otherwise water will not get evaporated. No? But if oil and grease comes out, it is going to stain your cloth. Completely sealed German bearings. It requires special grease which can withstand that temperature. There are about 800 bearings for not that 12 unit thing, 6 or 8 unit is the most common. So, for that you require 800 bearing. 400 chain is moving on one end, it is coming back. Okay. On this side also it is coming back. There is a track and I can adjust the track width, okay, or the arrangement, like there is a cross screw and I can adjust this so that the stretching can happen. I am mounting combine link on this, a clamp. No, this is the clamp. And feel the weight. It's die-cast component.
But it's not that heavy.
What I came out is 1/3 of this weight. And there are two types of grippers. One is like a pressure, it is like a, okay, you can't pull it out. Okay. The other one, on some cloth, particularly our suiting, have you seen that at the edge there are holes? Have you observed? At the edge of the cloth, particularly pant and, okay, there are holes. Some clothes you will find there are holes. So, there are pins which are actually, pins are there, and because of pins the cloth is held. Very interesting. And then this is moving like this, right. So, cloth will come, it will clamp, then I can adjust this. So, various stretching possibilities, different patterns are possible, because each unit I can change the stretching. Okay. And 800 bearings, every year you must have that grease application and all that. That bill itself was coming to about 25,000-30,000 rupees. Grease, it is high temperature silicon grease, and pretty heavy. Na? The 800, you can imagine the 400 units of this, how much will be the weight. Look at this weight, yeah. There are two bearings, and like that, then it is exactly like a cycle chain. Na? So, there is a transverse motion, and because of tensioning there is a axial thrust coming on this. So, I started asking basic questions, and I am going to teach you one of the tool which is called as a tools for transformation. Okay. This is wonderful tools of transformation. I said, can I inverse the position? Why the bearings are coming out like this? Na? The tension is only at the inside area, right, not the outside. When it is returning, it is not doing, it is no load condition. Okay. Load condition and no load condition, return path is no load. I said, can I provide the bearing only on the on load condition? Okay. And no load, it is just coming back because there is no friction on the load nahi hai, to let it come with the friction, graphite bearing. Okay. And this could reduce the number of bearings half. Cost saving. Combi link is same. Weight, I am not talking about the weight reduction. My next suggestions are there. Okay. But just straight away bearings. Can you? So, here I am saying the load is, the stretching part is that red arrow, the chain is on the other side, bearing is in between, it will suffice. I have only half the number, and all my functionality remains same. Could have got the patent on this, but patent is like a joint patent. Now, I am developing new things during the process of consultancy project. So, it becomes myself and company becomes the author for the patent. Here it is in the horizontal format, means the track is coming, the load condition it is inside and track is horizontal, it comes by in the horizontal condition. Okay. But because of that, track is almost like a 300 mm, okay, 30 centimeter track. So, additional, na, 2 feet additional. I am increasing the volume of the oven because everything is inside the oven. I said, why change should come like this? Can it come like this? Possible. Change the length.
Like in the escalator.
Absolutely. Like our bicycle chain, na, exactly. Bicycle chain moves in the vertical fashion. Reduction in weight. All my mechanical friends will understand what I am talking about. Na? Instead of horizontal plane return, I will return it in the vertical. Whole oven becomes smaller. Look at the cost implication. Okay. Why we should have metallic bearing? There are polymers now. Okay. PEEK, P-E-E-K. What is this PEEK? It is a high temperature bearing material, and it is not new, they are using this in their machine itself. There is a steam, na, water is there. So, PTFE and nylon and they do absorb moisture and they perform, but the PEEK is fantastic. I talked with the DuPont people, okay, I invited them, I said I want to use this, and then they were saying PEEK में ही उनका एक special grade था, okay, for this type of application, but the cost will come down. Okay, they said with the mass production and if quantity is enough, 3,500 rupees per bearing, it will come down to about 300 rupees. And this polymer bearing do not require the greasing. Just install and forget, na? That is the type of application. And same concept, I am saying I want to reduce the number of bearings, okay. Then vertical chain, how it will really work. It is possible to develop a vertical chain, polymer bearings. All these were styrene models to explain the concepts. And as I was saying, na, the bearings are only on the on-load condition. Return path, you have just a graphite strip. It is okay because there is no load, it is just a low friction area you want. So, this is how the whole thing works, and it can be the whole track I could reduce to hardly this much. No? From 300 mm, we could reduce it to hardly I think 100 mm or something. Then driving mechanism and load carrying bearings are separated. Whole thing, there the load carrying and the driving is same, no? The linkage. I said, can we separate that? The driving thing, can it be a Kevlar rope? Possible. And when I shift to the rope or steel rope or any other, then I have flexibility, na? I can go for the vertical oven. All these ideas are patentable ideas, believe me. Nobody has really thought about this type of.
Utility patents, right?
No, these are technical patents. These are patents, not the utility. Utility patents are lower level, okay. You attach the tweezer with the magnifier, that is utility patent.
But here you are just using a Kevlar rope, right?
No, but the whole technology of transferring, now I am going to claim that I am creating a total new linkage, new mechanism to transfer the cloth, and then it is a patent, full-fledged patent. Now, links, combi links, I have circulated the piece, and almost it is 400, 500 grams, right, roughly. 500 is a nice simple this thing, na, figure to can it be done in sheet metal? Because even after doing die casting, they have to machine it for very accurate thing, and where the cloth is getting trapped, they have to do lapping. Okay, very accurate thing. So the combi link, it is like a two pieces go together. It is like a assembly. Okay, the lapped and then checked for the accuracy. Costly. Sheet metal, once the stamping is proven, all correction done, sheet metal, stainless steel. And I developed the even these are some extra parts, not the complete thing. There are few more, so you can say double the weight. Still, it would have sufficed to replace that die cast part. That's creativity, that's innovation. You have to understand how it works and convert that. You must understand how sheet metal is to be bent, what can be the open form and how it can be punched, and you must understand everything. So, exactly these two parts are there, right? And you can feel the difference. Z section and C section, that is all. Then the knife edge, even everywhere. Na? Now, if you look at that die cast part, aluminum is not very good for continuous gripping. Knife section, you can't have the sharpness na, on aluminum. There is a stainless steel insert in that. I don't know whether you have observed that.
It's a blade.
Blade, there is a blade. So, such a complex. Normally नहीं होता है. Life of the center about 15-20 years, nobody replaces the, okay. Because if you look at, okay, even if there is a wear and tear, it will keep on still working, na? Because still there is a lot of positive area to take care of that wear and tear. Nice design, I am not saying that original design, am I changing the original clamping? I could have, but I am saying, okay, that is very nice, I will keep the same, I will change the material and do the weight reduction. When you reduce the weight, not only your structure becomes lighter, the motor power which is required for, na, it is like a big saving at the end. Yeah? This is the spikes, what I was saying, na, some cloth you will find the holes, and all these are possible with the even sheet metal thing. So many components, everything is sheet metal. I do not have all other components, okay, because I have fabricated one complete assembly and just submitted. These were some extra parts. Then the mechanism. You have to work on the perfect the mechanism which will work, and so luckily now the SolidWorks or Pro-E, it is very easy, right? But earlier also we have worked on the drafting board, we have developed the mechanisms. Okay, maybe I will show you one day that mechanism also. Tracks, can we have the, so the whole thing is now reduced to 100 mm type, no? Structure, nozzle and so many parts, okay. This is one of the blower assembly. Can you optimize the whole thing? The nozzles go, one nozzle set goes at the top, another nozzle at the, there are these slots, no? And in between the cloth is going to move, in between the all these tracks and the complete bearing and the combi link move. Look at the structure. So, first you create a structure and go on supporting many other components over. But each component by itself is strong enough. So my proposal was, can I reduce structure? Can these components, the door, the insulated door is 6-inch mineral wool, fabricated with 1.8 mm galvanized sheet metal box. It is strong enough, na? So why I should have a structure, additional structure? Even the top panels, they were the insulated panels, and I have suggested the insulated. Why mineral wool? Can we go to the other? There are many other materials, resin bonded glass wool and aluminum foils, multiple aluminum foils are there. Okay, our aeroplanes are insulated like that. You have this much skin only, and it should, outside is -40, -60, and inside is comfortable about 20, 21 degree. So this is how the basic module is. Okay, the bottom portion is your heat exchanger basically, and the top portion where the combi link and all this, the nozzles are moving, and this is how the top insulated, the mineral wool is processed, and those are the boxes for the top insulation. So they use pop rivet, and then many people are actually climbing and assembling, and you assemble it, test it, your client will approve, and then dismantle it whole, send it across by 10-20 trailer trucks, erect it there and commission it. So I was saying self-supportive design. Okay, each component is like a, why the minimal vertical structures, not the minimum structural elements, side walls are okay, they will take the load of the top roofing panel. The Koreans and Germans, there are world renowned companies, and even my would have been world renowned, but okay, bad luck. This is how the whole thing will get fabricated stage wise. Those are the nozzle assemblies. Even the whole process of sheet metal, they were having the CNC punching machine, bending machine, and riveting, pop riveting, welding, everything. But it's quite heavy. Okay, 4 people are, and bulky, not really heavy, but voluminous. To clean this, it is proposed very simple, user's manual. Remove 8 bolts and take it out, clean it, put it back. Manual बहुत easy होता है यार. But then I said, why it is to be cleaned like this? Can't we think about creating a special vacuum cleaner which will go inside? No, the possible, na? But one has to think out of box. This is box, right? One has to think totally differently, and it's possible to come out with a better idea. And this is how the whole thing is assembled, okay? On ground level, then they have clamp, they have jigs, and they use the measuring tape, accurate measuring tape. Each square is further, every corner there must be a diagonal, exact, 2 diagonals must be same, then it becomes a square or rectangle. All that is how it is assembled on the ground level starts, and the marking with the chalk, and real painful. But there are nice details, the screws are not visible and all that. So that's important, otherwise how many screws will be, nuts and bolts will be visible, no? We are not interested to create another Howrah Bridge. Howrah Bridge is having its own beauty because of riveted structure, okay? But here it should look neat and clean. So, this was the 1/10 scale model, one module. Second approach, I said the total radical thing. So, why heating is not by IR or like that, infrared heaters. No? They are coming in big way today. We have the ceramic heaters and double nozzle. That was very interesting concept. Actually, when nozzle is your hot air is inserted and this nozzle is almost this much long, no? And there are outlets. So, definitely at the end temperature will not be same, na? There is going to be a gradient. Okay. So, I said why you are not having double nozzle, allow the air to enter from two ends. All these are revolutionary ideas and which I was very proud. Lot of actually when I was working on this type of project, I was having 6 people working with me, huge design team. Okay. Very senior person to very junior people. Then this is how the whole unit is. They asked me to work on the graphics. Twin air Montex A.T.E. Now, what is this twin air? Okay. So, because the air is coming from the top and bottom of the cloth, okay, it is called twin air. Can we work on the graphics, create a new expression, and it is airflow. So, we worked on, created a color scheme, how that whole graphics will come, and it is a huge machine. Na? Here I have shown 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, kitna? 6. It can go up to 12. So, color schemes which will be quite soothing, 2 color scheme because it reduces the volume, visual weight. So, rough dimension 3000 by 3000, changing the boxiness of box.
So doesn't this reduce?
That whole graphics is creating something interesting. Na? It can be very boxy because whole thing is boxy, so sharp angles and